we go again for today's topic, that's soil. So grade 7, students, please take out your course book, the grade 7 one, yellow colored, and to page number 106. The first basic question that we need to answer is, what is soil? Now, soil is made up of pieces of rocks and minerals. Humus, well, don't mispronounce it as humus. Humus is H-U-M-M. This is humus. I'll explain what humus is to you in the next point. Bacteria, which we already know, the fungi, and small animals. That's where we grow our plants and all the farming is done. So what is humus? Humus is the dead and decaying remains of plants and animals. Now, here I've just given you this picture in the slide to show you the main classes of soil or the types of soil. So the first one is sandy soil. The second one is silt soil. It's not slit. It is silt soil, S-I-L-T. The third is clay soil. You can see there are lots of cracks in this. And the fourth one is loamy soil. Okay, now what you have in your curriculum is sandy soil and clay soil. We'll be discussing about the properties, typical characteristics of these different types of soil. Okay, now the first one, that's the sandy soil. Sandy, as the name suggests, it has sand, or it is made up of sand. Sand, do you think that sand sticks to each other? No, it doesn't, right? So obviously, if you pour water from the top, because we need to water the plants that are being grown for the fruits and vegetables, so the water must percolate or must go deep down to the roots. Now, what happens in sandy soil is that the water that we put on top directly goes down because the pore size, the gap between the sand particles is more. So, sandy soil is easier to cultivate. You can grow vegetables or fruits in them only if it has rich organic matter. Okay, but what does it do? Its drawback is that here drainage is more than that is needed. So, it's always kind of dry. And because of this over drainage and dehydration of it results in the dehydration of plants in summer. Now, it also warms up, the sand gets heated up very fast. So, it warms up very fast. And if you want to grow your plant in the sandy soil, then it's imperative that you water it regularly in the summers. Well, the next type of soil is the clay soil. Now, clay, you've played with the clay, you've made different models with the clay. If you look at the clay, you can mix it with water, make a dough and give it different shapes. So, similarly, if that clay was replaced by sand, can you do something like that with sand? No, it's difficult because it will not stick. So, the characteristic of clay soil is that it is a kind of material which is found very naturally. And what does it have? The material of which the clay soil is made up of is very, very, very fine. Because it is very fine and also it is sticky, there is very less air space. And because there is very less air space, that is the reason it is difficult to work with. Why is it difficult to work? Because there is hardly any space for the water that we are pouring on top for the water to pass through. So what will happen? The water will get clogged. The water will be all on the surface. And this waterlogging will harm the roots of the plants. Now, clay soil, what does it do? It becomes obviously very heavy because the water is not going down, and no crop or no plant can grow without water. Okay. So, if again in this soil, if we need to grow our plants in a healthy way, then you have to add organic fertilizers. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers are the nutrition or the kind of food that is given to the soil so that the plants get a good amount of, the nitrogen they require, the salts that they require. Okay. Now, clay soil is formed. How is it formed? It is formed after years of rock disintegration. Okay, rock disintegration is huge pieces of rocks have broken down, and it doesn't happen suddenly. It takes many years. And weathering. Now, weathering is a topic that we are going to study next after this, but just for your information, weathering means eroding, okay, or wearing off. So, it is also formed as sedimentary deposits after the rock is weathered, eroded, and transported. Okay, so it occurs very naturally. And now, when we explain the drainage, this is the next important part. So, what do you think? I told you about two different types of soil. One is the sandy soil, where I said the water passes off very quickly, okay, because there's a lot of air space in between. On the other side, for clay soil, I told you exactly opposite, that the water gets clogged. So, if we want a good, healthy plant to grow, you have to generally mix these two types of soil. Only then you will get a good growth. So, what do we explain here? We have to explain the drainage. Drainage means the power or the capacity of the water to trickle down the soil. You can even take this word easily with the drains at home. Yes, sometimes in the wash basins or the kitchen sink, the drains get clogged. What do we do? Why does it get clogged? It gets clogged because maybe some fine things are clogged in the pipe. What do? We use some chemicals so that it is cleared off. So drainage has a very important role to play in the growth of plants or for growing the crops. So now, if soils that are made up of clay, they have particles which have poor drainage. So, because they have poor drainage, they stick to each other and they will hold water. But that's not needed for every crop. And on the other side, the soils that drain quickly have got obviously bigger space, so that because of the bigger space, the water passes through them very quickly. And what do farmers do? The farmers, for an optimum growth or a good growth of the crops, they will mix both types of soil. Now, sometimes even adding humus, okay, helps to hold the water, especially in case of sandy soils. Now, could you just look at the activity? This is a very simple activity. I think all of you can do it at home from the garden or from I'm sure all of you have some pots at home. So, just take a little bit of the soil from there, and in a transparent glass jar or a glass, you put some water and you see if all these particles you can make out. I want you to do this experiment and please send it to me as soon as possible. I also want you to answer the questions. Okay? And also look at this. Please look at this diagram below with the sandy soil, okay, and the clay soil. You can see that sandy soils have good drainage and the clay soils have a poor drainage. What I want you to do as a question is that just define what is a soil. 3 questions I'm giving you. Define what is a soil. Second, I want you to write the difference between sandy soil and clay soil. At least 2 differences each. Okay? Just 2 points. That's the second question. And the third question is, how does humus help to hold water? Okay? So just 3 questions. Please write it in your notebook and send it to me. Thank you. Have a great day. and enjoy your time. Please go through this and get back to me if you have any difficulty. Stay blessed. God bless all of you.